Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at Jeremiah chapters 49 and 50. These chapters give us more of God's messages to the nations, but there's a big shift. The spotlight now turns to Babylon, the very empire that God is going to use to discipline his own people. These chapters are going to serve as a reminder that even world superpowers are not beyond God's justice. Let's get started with chapter 49. This is one of those oracles or speaking out moments against the different nations. God continues addressing Israel's neighbors, showing how he rules beyond Judah's borders. Verses 1 through 6 deal with Ammon. Ammon took Israel's land after their exile. God promises judgment, their cities will burn, but like Moab, God ends with hope. Afterward, I will restore the fortunes of the Ammonites, he says in verse 6. Chapter 49, verses 7 through 22 deal with Edom, known for wisdom and pride, especially Petra's mountain fortress. Edom thought they were untouchable, but God declares in verse 16, though you soar aloft like the eagle, though your nest is set among the stars, from there I will bring you down. It's a clear echo later repeated in Obadiah's book as well. Damascus is handled in verses 23 through 27. That's Syria's capital. Syria's capital will collapse. Fear and anguish will overwhelm the entire people. Kedar and Hazor are dealt with in the chapter in verses 28 through 33, and then Elam in verses 34 to 39. Far to the east, which is modern Iran, God will shatter them, but end with a promise again in verse 39, in the latter days I will restore the fortunes of Elam. Each nation trusted in something, land, wisdom, fortresses, wealth, distance, but none of these protect from God's sovereignty. Even as he tears them down, God promises restoration. Chapter 50 is judgment against Babylon. The tables turn, and God himself speaks against Babylon, the great nation of evil in the Old Testament. Babylon's idols will be shamed in verses 1 through 3. Verses 4 through 10 is a word of hope for Israel. The exiles will return, seeking the Lord with weeping and covenant renewal. God's vengeance against Babylon is brought out in verses 11 through 32. Babylon was arrogant, proud in its conquest, but God declares, I am against you, O proud one, in verse 31. And then the final blow in verses 33 through 46. Israel and Judah were oppressed by Babylon, but God will act as their redeemer. The chapter ends with the world shaken at Babylon's downfall. Babylon, the golden cup in God's hand, which comes up in the next chapter, was used to discipline nations, but even Babylon would face justice. This is just a reminder that even God can use evil nations, but they ultimately will reach their end at his judgment. Be well, friends.